Hello, friend. Welcome back to Mind Your Lens, the podcast. I was really inspired for this episode today because I'm all about the words that we choose to use to co-create our reality, to expand your definition of your experience. Now, what does that mean? It's the story. The story is everything. Hear me out. When you go through your experience, whatever that is, whatever the weather looks like, or the dog that walked across your living room, or the house that you're looking when you're going on a walk outside in the sunshine, or the restaurant that you're eating food at. Whatever the experience is, it's not only the objective experience, it's your subjective experience as well. The subjective story, right? It's not just what's happening, it's what you make of what's happening. Listen, I've been on this stuff for over a decade now. I get so excited because I think I have a good contrast frame of a different way of living. And then I found this way, you're the architecture of your building. It's the story that you're creating in your life. So some things that we're going to go over today in this episode, it's kind of, oh, duh. And then some things I hope to add new words or definitions to it that can keep your empowerment going even more. When you go through your life, you're also going to take in memories because you're going to have that visual experience of what happened. You're going to remember the words that you heard. You're going to remember the way that you felt inside of your body. And what you're also going to remember is how you made sense of it. But what if there were certain occasions that how you made sense of it wasn't the best option? But oftentimes you don't know it's not the best option until what we call hindsight bias. Hindsight 2020, when I look back on that, I could have done things differently. I could have behaved in a different way. That probably would have been more helpful for me. This is the process of self-development. This is the process of your integration of who you want to be with your life and aligning it with your life. My friend and I have a saying. We say, focused on the silver linings. Not only staying focused on them, but relentlessly searching for the silver linings. At the end of each thing that happens to you, when you integrate it into your day, you then add context to it, words to it. What are those words? And maybe even with memories. Memories are a tricky thing because are you remembering the memory as you are experiencing it then? Or are you remembering the memory as who you are now? And this is what we learn in neurolinguistic programming. We have a ton of techniques that talk about reprogramming your life, reprogramming these memories. Why? Because you're different now, aren't you? You're not the person that you used to be. But are you remembering it, the thing, the memory as who you used to be? I think that's where things can trip us up. If I was in a really low state of my life and something happened, there would be perceptions, words, and definitions that I would add to the experience then. As you get out of that experience and you move on with life, and then you look back on it, are you still attaching words from that low state? Or have you learned from it, grown from it, moved through the experience, and now can reprogram and attach different words? One of my favorite sayings in NLP is it's never too late to have a happy childhood. It's never too late to improve your memories. This is where your subjective reality comes into play. And through learnings of how your words create your worlds, I think you can adjust accordingly. I think if you decide that you want to live your life with more empowerment, more happiness, more joy, I think that you can choose different words to match that. And those words are a part of your story. And so why only have one role, one story, when you can continually evolve and grow into different character archetypes? What would it be like to shift your life and mindset in a way that only supports who you are? I know. I'm just saying, though, if you're interested, you can change your life in a way that's beneficial for you. You want to dismantle limiting beliefs. You want to stop self-sabotaging. You want to be kinder to yourself. I didn't learn this in elementary school. Did you? Because I didn't. I didn't learn this in junior high or high school. And I had a lot of mindsets back then that weren't supportive of me. And the story wasn't supportive of myself until I decided, oh, it's me? I'm the problem? Hi, it's me? Yes? So what kind of stories are you creating in your life? And what kind of words are you putting to those stories? In relation to this book that you're writing, the book that has many blank open pages for the future, and the book that's also full of words from the past, when you have the different chapter breaks in your life, however you look at that chapter can generalize a feeling that's attached to a memory. Do you look back on those times in your life that you're going through some kind of grief or going through some kind of heartache or going through some kind of ecstasy and just absolute joy? And what words do you use? And when's the break in the story? So if a story starts good and ends bad, oh, I hated that time in my life. That was a bad chapter in life. It becomes a bad chapter. If something starts bad and ends good, it can become a good chapter. For example, and this is my favorite example in my life, I was diagnosed with cancer when I was 18. But instead of the end of the chapter being the cancer, where like, okay, I got sick, and now then I end up in this bad chapter, and I can attach bad emotions to it, and I can become more of that victim mentality. The world is happening to me. Why me? I'm really grateful that I naturally didn't make that decision. I naturally, probably because of sports and being in gym environments where, you grit through things sometimes, you stay strong, you work through those moments. I adopted that immediately. And the end of the chapter wasn't a bad one, because then the whole next part of the book was full of me being strong and choosing that decision instead. And now I say that cancer is the best thing that happened to me because of the way that it continued my story in a way that I think really benefited my life. So there's two types, I think, that we can create. Two types of chapters, sequences, stories. We either have one that's a contagion or one that's a redemption. One that goes down and becomes even worse, and a thought virus that becomes contagious to the whole lifestyle, the whole system. Or a story of redemption, where even if I was taken down to the ground, I will find my way back up. This will attach the negative or the positive words to the experience and the story. And you don't want to let one bad apple spoil the whole bunch. You don't want to let one negative experience seep into the rest of your story. So how you narrate the experience and move through it is going to make it a contagion or a redemption. And here's what I mean by contagion. When you think of the thoughts that you have, I like the terminology of a thought virus. It's one of those thoughts. You know those thoughts that you get? Those little whispers that tell you you're not good enough or strong enough, or you're not successful enough, or you're not happy and you're depressed, or those thoughts. Full of shame, guilt, anger, frustration. Where do those thoughts come from? They come from you. They come from your programming. They come from whatever way you've made your experience has now output more of that trend. And if your trend has been to come from feelings of helplessness, hopelessness, worthlessness, then that might continue into the story. And that might seep and become a contagion that affects the rest of your experience. I don't know how else to put it. I don't know how else to make sense of this human consciousness other than understand that we have some type of malleability within it that can navigate the trajectory. And isn't that fascinating? That also means you're accountable. That also means you're responsible. You're response-able. You're able to respond to the moments in your life. So the contagion, the thought virus, my thought virus when I was younger was when I looked down on my body and I said, oh, this is not okay. It was the moment that I went from accepting myself to not accepting myself. That seeped into stuff for like 15 years. I'm still washing away some of that programming. And it's a lot better than it was. And you've gone through experiences like this where you didn't think that way, and then something got into your mind, a thought virus got into your brain that affected the way you look at yourself or the way that you look at your experience. And from there, it grew branches of neural patterns and thoughts. And it started to grow and seep into the system. But here's the thing. This is where the awareness comes into play. This is where the light and the hope of your life and your mindset come into play, because with that malleability, and I like to say we live in a malleable reality in the way that you can adjust these circumstances of your story. So when you recognize the thought virus, here's the sickness, the root of the sickness. You take it out, you reprogram it, you scratch the CD so it can never play the same way again. Mindset work. Self-development. You could not do this. You could not do it. You could not look at the way you look at the world. Look at the way you look at yourself. You can just ignore it completely and watch TV. That's fine. That's a choice. I just wanted my choice to be a little different than that. And I wanted to fix the way that I was thinking about things. Not that it was so bad, but it was bad. You know what I mean? And when I started to do this work of neurolinguistics, I thought, fascinating. Absolutely fascinating that there is a lot of opportunity here with the words. There's something called the biopsychosocial model. Biopsychosocial. Bio, the body, right? The physiology of the body. Psycho, the brain, the mind, the way you think. Social, the way you then respond to life and things outside of you. And within that biopsychosocial model, there are ideas, and in German medicine and a lot of other things, I've heard this idea that there is such intertwined responses and patterns within the body and the mind that the way you think could affect the way you live your life. If you stress yourself out more, do you think that could actually bring more physiological stress into the body? Perhaps. I'm just saying. Maybe. And maybe if you have certain symptoms within your body, could those be related to symptoms of your thoughts and your mind. I'm just saying. I think I had biological consequences of my psychological ones. I think I did. That's how I added more depth and understanding to my story, was saying maybe I had cancer because there was a part of me that was cancering. It turns out there was a huge part of me that was cancering. There's a huge part of me that was bringing a world of words that wasn't supportive to my system. So alongside that kind of perception, alongside a huge amount of trust in the process of life, of faith in the process of life, of just letting go, it started to make more sense that, okay, if I just treat myself better, then I could feel better. And it did. You know, I've been in remission for however many years. I mean, it's gone. I think it's gone. So how do you change your story? And how do you now look at new situations and accommodate those situations to the new story so that it's not a contagion? It's actually one of redemption. It's actually a story of recovery. It's actually a story of everything can only get better from here. That accommodative process means that you probably need to let go of the old story if it's not serving you anymore. But who am I without that old story? I think a lot of people let go of that hope sometimes because they can't change. I can't change. I've just been this way. What? That's the belief. And be careful, because even within some beliefs, there's a lie there. L-I-E is in the word belief. That's a play on of words. It's true, right? Couldn't a lie be hidden within a belief if it's a lie that you think you're unworthy or unlovable or whatever it is that we're telling ourselves? Could there be a sense of not trueness to it? So when you change your story, it might come along changing your identity. It might come along with changing the very nature of your human existence. So that can be scary. I am a life coach. I've been working with clients for a long time, over a decade, and I've heard that before. Of the resistance to letting go of the old story because of the uncertainty of who they are without it. Well, if you don't have that problem, if you don't self-sabotage in that way, then who are you? And that is the blank canvas that you can paint. That is the wonderful art that you can bring into your life by deciding how it is you want to be instead. And we'll focus a lot on how we don't want to be. I don't want to procrastinate anymore. I want to stop being late to everything. I want to be more organized. I just want to be successful because I don't feel that way. What does that mean? What is the definition of successful that you're looking for? How do you want to be instead? In the frame of reference from I'm focusing on my problems, here's my story of contagion because all I can think about is the things that are bad in my life and aren't working for me, or turning to the story of redemption, to the story of utilizing your experience for you. Things happen to help you grow even more. Could that be a way of observing this? There's a little bit, and I feel, because I never want to be gaslighty, so I'm just going to say this disclaimer right now. It's when the bad stuff happens that these philosophies make the least amount of sense. It's when the bad stuff happens that we say, this is so traumatizing. How on earth could this be for me? This sucks. And so I think that's where we're taking into the other things outside of us that we can't control. So in the variability of that, we can make sense of our story, and sometimes like really sucky stuff happens. And I don't want to be gaslighty by saying, oh, just make it an empowering story. Make it a story of redemption. I think it's okay to be in complete victim mentality when something happens to you. What I'm talking about here specifically is how long are you going to be there? When I was younger, I fell into that pattern of toxic positivity where, you just pretend everything's fine, but the fire is happening in the house behind you. So that's not what I'm saying, because I don't ever want to go back to that place where I was just shoving things down, and I was binge eating because I was trying to shove things down. So how can we talk about this idea of creating stories of redemption while still honoring the emotional process that needs to happen with negative experiences, right? Because after a decade, there are certain things that we might hold too heavily onto that we can probably let go of. Or if your parents or your caregivers or, Miss Sally, your second grade teacher, said something negative about you, if it's an identity that you no longer want in your 30s or 40s or 50s, that's what I'm talking about, to release from. Those are the things that you have more control over than sometimes we realize, is the words that we choose about who we are to our core, and how we are living our life and what values we lead by. I think those are the most malleable, and those are the ones that can add good experiences to our stories. So what are you framing the experience as? I think, I've dabbled in different groups of friends. And of course, there was the one with all the yoga classes that were just like, oh, my tire popped and I'm on the side of the road now, but this is for me because I was moving too fast. I think when people have this way of turning the story into something that benefits them, it's a good skill set. It's a good skill set to laugh about. I was driving, I heard this from someone else's TikTok video or something like that. And she said she was so lucky to have a dad that, if she takes the wrong turn on the freeway and goes on the wrong exit, he says, oh, it looks like God redirected us when we needed it. And it's like, you took the wrong, and so instead of having somebody respond to you by saying, you got off on the wrong ramp, whatever it is, her dad was like, oh no, God redirected us when we needed it. And that kind of flexibility of something that could be perceived as a negative story, but instead letting it be a redemption story of safety, of security. I like that stuff. I think that's cool. So I say that to it because in Arizona now, there's a lot of turns and a lot of cars, which is different than the rural Colorado farm that I was just on. There's a lot of turns and a lot of cars. And I've missed a couple turns here and there just because it happens so fast on the navigation. I'm just like, okay. So I just keep going forward. And I just tell myself that. I said, oh, clearly I'm being redirected right now. And this is for me. Instead of getting mad that I messed up on the navigation, I want to respond to myself in a way that is that forgiving. And I want it to be a story about personal fulfillment rather than personal shame. So what are the stories that we can shift in our memories so we can feel even better? And we do this exercise, this visualization technique in neurolinguistic programming, and we call it timeline. And from these timeline experiences, you look back on the memory, but instead of being in the memory, you're above the memory, looking down upon it. You, as you are now, are above the memory, looking down upon it. And this is a really cool, perceptive exercise that you can consider the way that you used to be and the way that you are now by looking at the experience from how you are now. And then we ask, well, what are some learnings from this event? And what are some qualities that you gained as a person from that event on your timeline? And this is how the reprogramming happens. Because that event can now be seen through the eyes of who you are now. That event can now be seen through a different lens. Mind your lens. And who you are now can see that event and make even more sense of it that is in alignment with the emotions that you're trying to experience. Right? Isn't that fun stuff? I think that, and then stuff can get better over time because the story changes. And once the story changes, the well-being of the human changes. You're going to make more redemption stories. You're going to probably feel better, probably feel more secure within yourself, probably feel more congruent with life in general because you're no longer resisting things and making it worse. You're making things better. In regards to what I was saying earlier about bad experience that also happen, it doesn't always need to be a happy redemption. It doesn't always need to be an everything is better. I think the word meaningful comes into play here. And the meaningful story that you can create can bring you even further away from the sad stories, the ones that are affecting you in a not so good way. It doesn't always need to be a happy story. It can be a meaningful one. That it shifted things for you in a meaningful way. Maybe the grieving process helped you see the specialness of life and therefore will help you react differently. So somewhere in the middle of you making sense of your life and the random happenings, there is that balance of empowering your world, empowering your story even more. You know, I just spent 30 minutes reiterating this because I think it really affects how you're going to move forward now. So now we'll do this thing called future pacing. And as you look into the future, as you think about what you'll be doing next week or the week after or 3 months from now, is there a way that you can choose to respond differently to certain circumstances so that this progression of development can happen for you? And this doesn't mean you need to be a certain way. This doesn't mean you have to act a certain way according to the self-development books you read. This just means that you're becoming more authentic and in alignment with your best life, the person that you want to be. Easy. Simple. Maybe not easy. Simple. Not easy. No. This could be some of the most confronting stuff. This could be the mirror that gets held up to you. You know how they say, well, if you've got issues in relationships, I'm just talking about a friend, not me or anything. If you've got if you have issues in intimate relationships, then when you're in them, that's when the mirror is there. When you're out of them, the mirror's not there. So you're fine when you're out of them. And then when you're in them, that's when the mirror is there. Same with business building, right? I help a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs move forward in their business with their mindset, with their strategy. The strategy, the mindset, it'll show you who you are. I think business is another personal development journey. And it is so fascinating the way that people approach business. Here's what I love about where we are in the world and the idea of entrepreneurship and the way that the world works now with the internet and the way that we can just share information like this. And we can also have knowledge-based businesses. Like I work with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. I'm a success coach for them. I feel very honored for this role because I'm in an industry of people that are creative and moving forward with their ideas. But the second you start moving forward with your ideas and putting yourself out there is when that mirror appears even more. Your receptivity to life. And through watching people build their business and even building my own business, you see every insecurity. You see every self-doubt that comes up. You'll feel the resistances that your body has to putting yourself out there. I think it's so beneficial for everyone to at least to try to do something. Try to create something, even if you just do like a workshop online with, making sourdough bread or something that you like to do. I think it'd be so fun because you really meet yourself in those spaces of, can I trust myself enough to do this? Can I encourage myself enough to do this? And we're in a beautiful space and time to take action with that and meet yourself in those spaces of growth. I did this recently. I wanted to grow a little bit more, so I just moved my location. Because I wanted a different chapter. And that's what I kept telling myself too. Maybe it's because I have a lot of Sagittarius placements in my chart. I don't know. But there's this thing that happens within me. I moved 12 times in 11 years. And then I finally stayed in a place for the last 3 years. And then, in this last year, up into a couple months ago, I was like, is this the story? Is this how long the story is going to be? I was like, I just need to switch it up a little bit and do a different story. So I jumped into a different story, a different timeline of experience, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm continuing to make it a redemption story, if you were wondering. It's not a contagion story. I'm continuing to make it a story where I expanded myself and my opportunities, even though it's so hard. It's so fun and easy to be in a small town where you can just I could not talk to other people other than my landmates for weeks because everything's just so centralized right there. And then I yearned to be a different character, to have a different character arc. And this was my Instagram post last night, was I don't think you have to be one kind of person all the time. And I've dabbled in many different areas. Like I was the yoga person and then the athlete, the super champion athlete. It was so buff. And then I was like, well, I want to soften that a little bit. And then I started doing my speaking thing. And I was like, well, I want to be a farmer. And now I'm over here doing this thing. And you have the opportunity to try on these different roles without judgment or without needing permission from the world to tell you that you want to be a different way. I think it's fun to just press shuffle and try on something else, and then you can shift and mold. And if the people around you aren't shifting and molding, that's good for them. Maybe they're just doing exactly what they want to do. But if you're somebody that has that feeling inside of you that you want to make a change, it has that feeling inside of you that is whispering at you, that whisper is what you need to follow. That whisper of the desire for the courage to follow. I think tuning into that will give you everything that you need to move forward out of the box. In conclusion, asking yourself, is there anything you forgot to remember that will give you the strength you need to make the change that you desire? Is there any resource that you know you have that you want even more of that can build you into the person that will achieve your goals? Do you desire to have a little more confidence, a little more self-esteem, a little bit more dynamic nature, ability to reach out, ability to ask for help, ability to put yourself out there? And then what is it? Yay. Well, I'm excited. Thanks for tuning into this podcast. A shout out to the Speak Seller down in Phoenix. I'm grateful to be here. I think this is part of the self-development journey. I call it, here's what I say. You say, you need to put yourself on the line and make it a must. And I think that will help you move forward. So you need to say, hey, I'm going to do this thing at this time and follow through with it. And with these podcast recording studios, it's like if I tell someone else I'll be there, then that puts me on the line to make it a must. And it's been happening and working. All right, my friends. Remember, it's a story that you create. Keep adding the words that create the world. That will make it your most favorite book ever. Thank you for being you. I'm so glad you are, and I'll see you soon.